the KMNN studios, this is the Kids Morning News Network. It's March 20th, 2024, the 80th day of the year. I'm Alex in the KMNN studio in New York. We have a very special show today, an interview with one of my favorite people in the world, KMNN's special correspondent, Liam.
Hi, I'm Liam, and I want to tell you about my superpower.
He's here to tell us what it's like to have ADHD. So stay tuned for that. Welcome to the spring equinox. Depending on where you live, it may have been yesterday, but you can still celebrate. The spring equinox is the time when day and night are almost equal lengths. That's because the Earth is tilted and spinning. The spin gives us day and night, while the tilt gives us the seasons. When you see the sun appearing to move across the sky each day, most of the time it's not exactly overhead anywhere on Earth. On the spring equinox, though, the tilt is just right so the sun shines directly on the equator, that imaginary line that goes around the middle of the Earth. So the spring equinox is like a cosmic balance point where day and night are nearly equal. In the northern hemisphere, where the KMNN studio is, it's the official start of spring because the days are getting longer and the sun is getting higher in the sky, bringing warmer weather. But, fun fact, at the same time, it's autumn in the southern hemisphere because the days are getting shorter there. And yes, the northern hemisphere also has an autumn equinox right at the same time the southern hemisphere has its spring equinox. A lot of cultures around the world celebrate the equinox because it's the start of spring. How about you? Are you doing anything special, or did you do something special? Get your grown-up to help and let me know. Drop me a line at kidsmorningnews@gmail.com. On this day in 1928, a boy named Fred was born in Pennsylvania. He was an only child until he was 11 when his parents adopted his sister. He didn't have an easy time of it as a kid. He was kind of shy, kept to himself. He was even bullied. He spent a lot of time alone with his imagination, playing with puppets. He never forgot what that was like to be a kid and be lonely. Fred grew up and went to college and studied music. Afterward, he got a job working in this new thing at the time called television. He didn't really like TV, but he had an idea. Maybe it could be used to help kids. So he watched and learned all he could. Eventually, he got a chance to start making puppet shows on TV for kids. He went back to school to study how kids thought and communicated. One day, his boss told Fred that Fred himself belonged on TV because he had such a great way of talking to kids. And that was how, eventually, Fred became Mr. Rogers, the host of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, one of the most important TV shows for kids that has ever existed. It's not made anymore, but you may have seen a rerun. Mr. Rogers didn't try to teach kids anything. He just talked to them about feelings and emotions and right and wrong. And he became an inspiration for kids and for parents, and for a lot of shows that followed, like Blue's Clues and Wonder Pets. He's also the guy who made up Daniel Tiger. So happy birthday, and thanks for all you did, Mr. Rogers. All right, I am so happy to have our special guest today, special correspondent Liam. He's been here before to talk about food, but today he is asked to come on to tell us his story about living with ADHD. Liam, what grade are you in?
I'm third grade.
Why did you want to come on and talk to us today?
I just wanted to tell other people about how it's like. Sometimes it can be hard and a disadvantage, but sometimes it can be an advantage and really help me with stuff.
So what's the hardest part about having ADHD?
I think paying attention.
What about it do you think is an advantage?
It helps me with my imagination. When I play things with my friends, and I use it to make new stuff for our games.
Do you think of more cool new things than you would if you did not have ADHD?
Definitely.
A lot of kids listening might have ADHD. What would you say to them, like some tips that you've learned that could help them?
Don't think of it as a disadvantage, and don't stress.
How do you do that? How do you keep from stressing? Because it can be stressful sometimes, I think.
I just remember that I can get it done if I try. Take deep breaths and just have maybe like a 10-minute break, and that'll help you calm down.
What do you think you want to do when you get older with that extremely wide imagination? What's your goal in life?
Make new blueprints for different kinds of space exploration things, and go to space.
I remember we read a book about an astronaut, Scott Kelly, and it sounds like he had ADHD also. And I've seen interviews with him where he says he thinks he does. Do you think this is helpful for you with what you want to do?
Definitely. It can help you do different things in creative ways that get more stuff done.
How about if there's somebody out there who just found out they have ADHD and they're kind of worried about it?
Don't be worried. It's not all a bad thing. How I think of it as like a superpower is I just think of myself as being really creative and open to new things.
Do you think having ADHD has ever stopped you from doing something you wanted to do?
No.
You do pretty much everything you want to do.
Yeah.
It's riddle time. Monday's riddle was, this is the place where today comes before yesterday. What is it? Do you know? It's a dictionary, so it's alphabetical. All right, today's riddle. I can't talk to you, but I'll talk back if you speak to me. What am I? I can't talk to you, but I'll talk back if you speak to me. Answer on Friday. All right, an update now on those volcanoes in Iceland. It's still erupting. Everyone is still safe. The barriers are working to keep the town safe and to keep the Blue Lagoon safe. Now, you know that lava is molten rock that comes up from deep in the earth. When it's underground, it's not called lava, it's called magma. But how does it get hot enough underground to melt rock? Is there a big fire or something down there? Well, imagine the earth is a giant pizza, kind of flipped upside down and wrapped around a ball, right? The crust is this thin, crispy top layer where we live, and underneath that is this super hot and squishy mantle, like the melty cheese on a pizza. The mantle is naturally very hot, thousands of degrees Celsius, but that's not always hot enough to melt the rock. All that rock is also under this immense pressure from the Earth's crust pushing down. It's like a pressure cooker or an Instant Pot. It traps the heat and pressure to cook faster. That's what's happening in the mantle. Pressure gets released and things boil faster. If rocks move upward, maybe the plates in the crust of the Earth move around, the pressure decreases and it starts to melt, even if the temperature stays the same. Now, when rock in the mantle melts, it's usually only partial, right? Different minerals in the rock have different melting points. So some of it might get liquid while others stay solid, and that melted part becomes magma, which is lighter than the solid parts. That starts to rise, like air bubbles rising in soup. And eventually it pools in pockets closer to the surface. And if it finds a weak spot or a crack in the Earth's crust, a fissure like we're seeing in Iceland, that's when it erupts and becomes this fiery lava we see bursting out of volcanoes. So that is how the super hot and pressurized rock down there in the Earth's mantle can melt and become magma and make its way to the surface as lava. All right, weather today, it'll be a little chilly in a lot of the country. Mostly clear, except for a few spots in the north and the south that could see snow or rain. That's the show. Thank you very much for listening. Huge, huge thanks to Special Correspondent Liam for being here and sharing his story. If you like this episode, please like it on your podcast app and subscribe, share, and spread the word about the Kids Morning News Network. Grown-ups, if you'd like to become a supporter, there's a link in the episode description. No pressure, but even $3 a month would help with production costs. I'll be back Friday. I hope you are too. From the KMNN Newsroom, this is Alex signing off.